I've always had a fondness towards the city builder genre of games, which has led me to accumulating some knowledge regarding urban planning, bike lanes, walkability, public transit, all that. So today I'm gonna be rating cursed tank simulator maps by how walkable and pedestrian friendly they are. For rating we will need criteria, but because we are mostly talking about war-zone areas, we will need to make the criteria a bit softer. So the criteria I've made are as follows. Amount of designated sidewalks, rated from 0 to 3, 0 being a complete lack of sidewalks, 3 being abundance of shared space zones. Safety and usability of road crossings, also rated from 0 to 3, 0 being a complete lack of any designated pedestrian road crossings, and 3 again being an abundance of shared spaces. Traffic calming measures, those being objects that make the traffic on the road slow down to increase safety, again rated from 0 to 3. 0 is roads being akin to plain runways, and 3 being an abundance of traffic calming measures. And the important thing to note is that I will only rate urban and industrial maps, so no fields of A or Sinai, and no nuclear winter because it's destroyed. I will also look at maps in the order they are placed in the custom server map selector. Advanced UK is a European city, which usually means good and walkable city design, but we will take a closer look at it. Sidewalks are present on almost every street on the map, and the stairs on the pedestal of the CEO statue imply some kind of a shared space, but there are still lots of places where sidewalks just can't be found, whole blocks without them even. And the shared spaces aren't at all common, 1 out of 3 on sidewalks. Any type of a road crossing is nowhere to be found on the map, but there are places where the curb is cut, which would imply that a crosswalk should have been there, but it isn't, 0 out of 3 on road crossings. The map features a large amount of traffic calming measures, such as those wall props and a large amount of parked cars, and the overall bendiness of the roads, but the most important traffic calming measure are the tiled roads, which are more bumpy than normal tarmac and will make any car driver slow down if they want to still have a functioning suspension on the car. Yet there are still quite a lot of streets that don't possess many calming measures except the tiles. 2 out of 3 on traffic calming. Our next map will be Garage. Garage seems to be an industrial complex of sorts, but it still features some living quarters. This map has a weird relationships with them. Most of the sidewalks on the map are genuinely wide, but they like to abruptly end in seemingly random places, 1 out of 3 on sidewalks. None. There is exactly 0 crosswalks. There aren't even cut curves like on the UK, 0 out of 3 on road crossings. On this map, traffic calming does not exist. Almost all roads are as straight and as long as a runway, and the rare bent roads feature wide bent corners, which is the literal opposite of traffic calming, 0 out of 3 on traffic calming. Middle East features a new urban development being constructed. This development is squeezed between a highway and a solar farm, though I won't be rating the highway and the solar farm parts of the map because they are too far away from the actual urban development. Sidewalks are extremely abundant on the map, being built along an overwhelming majority of the roads, with the only exceptions being active construction sites. The only problem will be the lack of shared spaces and a large amount of fences, a solid 2 out of 3 on sidewalks. This map features the first actual crosswalk of this video, but this is sadly the only crosswalk on the whole map, 1 out of 3 on road crossings. Some traffic calming measures here are interesting, to say the least, such as this ramp, but most of them are either parked vehicles or those concrete roadblocks. They aren't that abundant on some roads, but on most roads there's a large amount of those, 2 out of 3 on traffic calming. Production line is another industrial complex similar to the garage, but it's quite a bit larger than the garage and also more dense. The whole built-up area of the map, except those garages, has an enormous amount of sidewalks, but there is an important detail that can leave this map on an even higher tier in this criteria. The train unloading bay, a place that is supposed to be regularly accessed by motor vehicles, has no road connections. Because of that, we can safely assume that most of the map's area is a shared space, 3 out of 3 on sidewalks. The map has only one crosswalk that strangely leads to a road, but as we already identified, the factor is shared space, and in shared spaces jaywalking is commonly normalized, 3 out of 3 on road crossings. Most roads on the map feature some kind of traffic calming, would that be in the form of shipping crates, fence gates, concrete roadblocks, or even large rebar concrete tubes, 2 out of 3 on traffic calming. Red Desert is a map set in a similar place to Middle East, but less developed and much more compact. The only place on the map that features any kind of sidewalks is the central square, while the rest of the map doesn't have access to such luxury, 1 out of 3 on sidewalks. The map has no crosswalks or any other kind of road crossings, 0 out of 3 on road crossings. That's where the map excels at. All the roads on the map have unpredictable curves and bends, which force the drivers to drive slower and be more focused, while most of the roads also have many traffic calming measures in place, such as parked cars and containers, 3 out of 3 on traffic calming. Nothing happened on this map in a certain year. Sidewalks line every street on this map, but the amount of shared space is basically zero, although there are many parks and the sidewalks themselves are very wide with lots of vegetation. 2 out of 3 on sidewalks. Traffic light regulated crosswalks are located on most big intersections, and some of those crosswalks even have safety islands to help you cross the 10-lane road a bit more safely. 2 out of 3 on road crossings. The local government seems to be taking a path opposite to traffic calming, because all of the roads are generously, one would say morbidly wide, while also being straighter than a laser beam in a perfect vacuum. 0 out of 3 on traffic calming. We have looked at all of the maps that can be rated under the given criteria, so it's time for a final rating. I will start from the last place and go up to the first place. 5th place, Garage, with a score of a whole 1 point, takes up the last place in the walkability rating. 4th place, Advanced to UK with a score of 3 points. 3rd place, tied between Red Desert and the Square, with 4 points for each map. 2nd place, Middle East with a solid score of 5 points. And the 1st place, it is surprisingly Production Line, that has gotten 8 points for its impressive factory shared space, that makes the map so much more walkable than the other competitors. Write in the comments based on what should have ranked the maps next time, and on that note, thanks for watching. Advance to UK is a... Блять. There's many called... Square, which the rest... Курва. Блять, пиздец какой-то. Sidewalks line... Traffic lights... Ай-яй-яй, нельзя так, нельзя.